Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is Standard Politics on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye of Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. Let's tell you that President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Nigeria after participating in the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He arrived at Abuja today at about 5:30 a.m. after the meeting where he addressed the UN General Assembly during the high-level general debate, assuring them of Nigeria's government's commitment to tackling the issues of insecurity, fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, and improving the economy. But some good news in the security aspect of our lives. In Kaduna State, 10 more kidnapped Bethel Baptist School students have regained freedom today. This is the fourth batch of the students released so far by their abductors. The police are yet to confirm the development by a top official of the school to Channels Television that the 10 students were released on this afternoon after an unspecified amount of money was paid as ransom to the kidnappers. Well, the official also expressed optimism that the bandits will release the remaining 11 kidnapped students still in captivity in no distant time, and a total of 121 students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School in Shikun Lugu government area of Kaduna State were abducted by bandits from their hostels on the 5th of July 2021. But sadly, at least one person has been killed and many others injured after a gunman attacked Ekwa Church at Yabashiwa village in Kashia local government area of Kaduna State this morning. According to a report by security agencies, the gunman invaded the church during the Sunday morning service and immediately attacked the worshippers, which led to the death of one person while some others were seriously injured. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has condemned the attack against worshippers by this gunman. The governor, who expressed sadness over the incident, describes it as an evil act targeting innocent citizens exercising their constitutional and universal rights to religious freedom. In the past days, governors in Zamfara, Katsina, and Sokoto states have employed the tactics of shutting out telecoms network to frustrate the open play by the bandits. Tonight, we discuss the state of the nation and some solutions that we may be able to reckon with. Tonight, I'm being joined by a former governor of Jigawa State and also a former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Governor Sule Lamido. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's good to see you. Let's begin this conversation in the area of politics. This banditry in some parts, majorly in the northwestern region of the country and in the north central. With what we're saying, how do you hope that we can best tackle these bandits and their open play, because they just openly go to schools, worship centers, people's homes, communities, kidnap people, ask for ransom. Some state governors have deployed the move of shutting down telecoms network in some of these states. What's your view on the best way to tackle this?
Thank you, Shaun, and thank you for having me. Let me start by saying that whatever is happening today in the north stands condemned by whoever it is. And there is no way a country can grow if there is no security of life and property. Having said that, then maybe you have to also reflect and see what are the root causes. What is happening today in Nigeria? Why are our own children who are under 25 taking arms against their own kith and kin? Going to villages to harass them, take away their livestock, burn their houses, even rape their own women. What is the problem? This kind of moral decadence, what has gone wrong? So it means, I think, we the parents and the leaders, and also both religions have to blame because there are things which were abandoned in terms of raising our children with the kind of moral character to be able to understand that that life is upon some few principles of life. And so, to me, we are all responsible. If you look at the level of poverty in Nigeria, the lack of infrastructure in terms of education, the way parents have abandoned their own children, taking them, to far places, but then to care for them. A number of things have gone wrong. But then above everything else, it's about leadership. Leadership is very, very important. And so a leader has to be held accountable and responsible. They show Zamfara. Why is Zamfara becoming the hub of terrorism in Nigeria? Why? Because there are some kind of economic interest in that place. I don't think there's been a report, or a submission, a report from one of the committees set up, where, key political leaders, some emirs, political actors are behind this issue of, because of the benefit they make, the gold pillage. And so we have to be really God-fearing that today in Nigeria, where are we heading to? These people who are under 25, but in the next 25 years, they're going to be 50 years old. How can we have a leader, who have grown, into the, from the wild in the bush, attacking people, killing people, who don't have anything called empathy or human concern? We have lost our human essence. So what do we do? So I think it's not me alone. All of us have to come together. There have been a number of presentations, a number of submission by people who are what was insecurity. What has gone wrong? What are the problems? How do we come together, ignore politics, and look at Nigeria and see how do we save this country? That's my view.
It's interesting that you've pointed this out, but I mean, it's not as if there is a region in the country presently that is insulated from some of these challenges. But kidnapping and banditry especially, and from some of the stories that we are hearing and the questions we always ask, some of these elements, you from that region of the country, can you tell us with some of the activities of these bandits? There is a likeness of these terrorists in the northeast. Are there some kind of similarity between the northeast terrorists and the bandits in the northwest?
Look, crime is crime, whether in the north or in the south, whether they are bandits or kidnappers or whatever they are. They are criminals. But the issue is, you see, government must be held accountable. And I don't want to sound too political, but it's a fact of life that, when you want when you want to attain political power, the process must be very, very credible, must be very, very transparent. Leaders should be able to say, look, I want to be in government because I will do this and this and this and that. And they ignore the temptation to tell lies and malign and blackmail others to make a point. I was watching my nephew, Farouk Adamu, over this particular program, who is calling me a thief, and I'm a thief all through, saying that, before, when they are trying to get power in Nigeria in 2014, and this is their change mantra, they had no idea of what a government was, that they are very, very ignorant. Now, that is very, very profound. Political party which had a former head of state as a candidate, political party which had, former Senate president, former governors, former parliamentarians, people have been in government all their, for some 4, 5, 8 years, coming together and they say they are ignorant about governance. So that says a lot. So it means they knew what they are doing, they knew they are telling lies, but then to them it is for getting the power. If they get the power, then they can begin to say, what do we do? That's the problem. So the process and the platform must be very, very honest, must be very, very credible. We must have the courage to say, this is what we are going to do. And the thing are going to be very, very tough. But then when you say, oh, I'm sorry, I never knew it was like that. So how could somebody who will be former head of state, former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum say that, subsidy is a fraud? How could he say that, for God's sake? How could somebody who has been a president in the country say that the security is caused by a political party called PDP? And how can people who have been in government, who want to take political party, saying that a whole political party which was able to restore Nigeria from the abyss it went through under Junta, what were able to save Nigeria in 1999, to restore Nigeria, again Nigeria is reconciled, so that after 15, 20 years that we have done nothing in Nigeria, nothing. So you see, it is this culture of telling lies to the younger generation. So when you read their hope in trying to get government, and you're in government, by the time you fail to fulfill their needs, of course you're going to have some problems. So these are simply the consequences of telling lies in campaign. And so for us to be safe, We should be more focused, what is wrong with this country? That, leaders have not been very, very honest. They've not been very, very sincere. And there's nothing called justice in the way we run Nigeria. We see Nigeria as at my own time, our own son, our own tribe. And then whatever he does, people in the north, we are dying every day. We are not safe, we are not secure. You can't even travel from Abuja to Kaduna and feel safe. And yet, because he's our own son, and he's our own kid, we are happy. While we are dying, we're happy because Buhari is our own son. So that's the problem. But they say, beyond Buhari, beyond Sule Lamido, beyond the current actors, in the next 30 years, there will be Nigeria. The younger generation now who are 25 are going to be about 55, 60 years. What are we running for them? That's the question. So we need to come together and then you see politics, put politics aside, and then sit down and then see what do we do as leaders in this country. That's I look at things in a very, very innocent way because I'm a local person and I carry my heart on my palm for all to see. So whatever I say in my lips is something in my heart. But then we have no leadership in Nigeria. That's the problem. And the world is looking at us.
So what is the solution, if I may ask? Do you know, if you were in the position of the president today, what would you do to resolve this banditry?
What I will do is that, we need to have, ideas from leaders, ideas from people. The view of the security agencies and other key players, let's get them all together. Look, if I am the president, look, where are the leaders of the country, the political leaders, all the political parties, the clerics, the malams, the people, come. And then I'll say, this is Nigeria. I will narrate to them Nigeria. This is the country called Nigeria, a country divided, a country which has no human feeling, where there's no empathy, a country where we pursue the ephemeral against the altruistic, a country where we abandon the cause of Nigeria in pursuing our own interests. So that today, interests are in Nigeria, interest. Those who want to be councillors, who want to be governors, president, and whatever, are leading Nigeria. And Nigeria behind, we should try and pursue our aspirations through Nigeria. So that by the time we get there, we'll be able to command the respect of Nigeria. So I'll call there and say, look, this is the culture called Nigeria, a leader of the black race, with 20 million people, well endowed by God. We have everything. Why are we in this kind of condition? What has gone wrong? We discuss, we debate, and we should debate sincerely across all divides, the north and south. But the way we are today, we keep, creating bigger divide, bigger gaps, For instance, not to talk about what presidency. People say, look, it's our own time. Now, governors of political party from the south are coming together, demolishing all the walls of the political party. APC, they're coming together as governors, saying one Nigerian presidency. Now, if you look at the country from that point of view, that, it's your own region, your own interest, your own people. Conversely, the other people too have their interests. So if you are calling the governor of PDP and the APC in southern Nigeria to meet on the point of presidency, I can't imagine me meeting governor of APC. Me, Sule Lamido, meeting with APC on presidency. So it means the family born of PDP, where the political party is for all Nigeria, is all gone. Political parties should not be discriminated. It should be open to all Nigeria. It's the only platform where Nigeria can be able to, can really promote their own political interests. So we should avoid this kind of division in terms of political power. We put too much emphasis on political power and in so doing abandon the real problem facing Nigeria. That's what APC did in 2014. They said so many things about Nigeria and haven't gotten there now. Where are we? We are worse off. So if PDP is not very, very careful, if we begin to explore these, divisions in terms of my own time, my own region, my own time, my own whatever it is, by the time we get there, if we don't get the process right through a very, very credible, all-inclusive family Nigerian platform, if we get there, there'll be a problem. We'll be worse than APC. So it means, it's about time we begin to put the country first, more than anything else. And once we're able to put the country first, and they will begin to restore that thing called trust, which is lost because people no longer trust each other. And they're not between families, between a father and son, between friends, between communities, north and south, east and west. We have lost faith in each other. We have lost that kind of thing called trust. We try, how do you restore the trust of Nigeria and Nigerian people? That, beyond anything else, you are a human being like me, coming from the north or south, you create my own reflection, my own physiognomy, you have two eyes, I have two eyes, and so that can begin to see the human essence in us. When we begin to the it means we'll be able to unite around ourselves, around our common humanity, and save Nigeria. It's possible, but then leadership must be able to give the kind of confidence first, the genuine leadership. When people are very honest and genuine, the country will be all right.
So, I mean, you said if you were president now, your solution to the security problems is that you were going to bring the leaders together, religious, traditional leaders. You bring them together to have a conversation. Is it a kind of a confab, the kind of conversation, the kind of conferencing, or the kind of summit that President Goodluck Jonathan organized in 2014 at the result of the 2014 confab?
You see, I'm not talking about confab. You see, confab, is a kind of talk shop where people gather, and when they gather, they keep on promoting sectional interest. Because the person who convenes the conversation is not there. In my own case, I'll be part of the conversation with the people. I mean, key players, who are saying, look, this, me being that is, if I'm the president, that I'm going to direct you this Nigeria for Nigeria. This is Nigeria for you, for all to understand. Nigeria, which is commonly our own common heritage. And these are the issues. What do we do? Not a conference, because conference is talking about, political interest. Not about security, not about unity, not about common bond, not about love. We're talking about, what do I get, who is sitting, and therefore we further create further division and further mistrust. I would be involved in the discussion, and I'm going to be very, very small. That's what I did in Jigawa. Though Jigawa is a very, very small state, a micro level. But then you see, when you are able to engage people and talk with them, that you have a common destiny. You are, you are responsible. You are being looked onto as leaders. What do we do as people? Not, restructuring, who gets what. No. First, how do we restore our common humanity? How do we restore first trust amongst ourselves? When there is trust, we're able to answer, then we can move forward. And then begin to answer others which are part of the government of government or management of government. But then the basic fact that we have to be able to say that whatever I say something you understand and I understand, that we share the same commitment, that you and I are on the same frequency or on the same page.
Before I get into a very interesting matter away from security, let me just touch on one subject on insecurity and the situation in the northern region of the country. You're one of the leaders of that region, and you said the parents and the leaders in the north are to be blamed for what has happened in the north, and seeing the children carrying arms against the people of the region. For example, the number of out-of-school children in the northern region of the country. The former mayor of Kano State and the former Central Bank governor has said that it is a ticking time bomb what is happening in the north. Are you worried about what the future holds for the younger northerners in the northern region of the country with the statistics of out-of-school children and the kind of situation in education in the north?
Before I answer about my worries and my concerns about whatever, correction. Criminality, crime is now a national phenomenon in both the north and the south. All of us have a problem. Go to the south, go to southeast, southwest. So the crime is now is something which is now national. But then its peculiarity may be a little bit different. So what I think that, it is a failure of the system and leadership, both north and south. If in the north we have Boko Haram, in the south, what do you have there? There are a number of things happening in the south, where people are killing, ritually killing. In fact, they say, I was told that, there's a market where you can go and buy human spare parts. You can buy an ear in the market, you can buy a tongue or an eye. I mean, that is terrible. So crime is a crime. We have lost our common humanity. We have lost our common essence. That we're not a human being. You see, I'm not a Muslim, but then I think God in His own wisdom, when He made human beings, He gave us intellect, which means we're different from other animals. And then I think God in His own wisdom also put a kind of thin membrane encasing our brain so they wrong thinking and wrong ideas or will not go into the head. That's why, you don't indulge in incest or bad murder or whatever. But then, so the wrongdoing is being repelled by the thin membrane in the head. But the Nigerian membrane has torn away. The Nigerian membrane, which is encasing and protecting our brains from wrong thinking, from evil doing, has been torn away. And therefore, the Nigerian mind today can absorb any evil, unimaginable, anything. So it's not another affair. It's a national affair. It's both north and south. We have lost our human essence. So how do we do as people, not just the northerners? We know the problem, But then the Almajiri thing is a system which can be remodeled, which can be, I think, redefined. And also, the southern part of the country, what are the issues? So, Shem, I would rather see the whole thing as kind of, something more holistic, so more national than being regional or zonal. I want something which will be able to understand Nigeria as a nation, with its people, and its future and security, so you'll be able to holistically address it. Which is peculiar in the north, should be known by people in the south, vice versa. And then together we can move ahead.
To want to get back into prominence and win the 2023 presidential election, as far as what we hear, as far as what the leaders of the party are saying, are you optimistic about the chances of your party in 2023?
In 2014, one of the governor, the former President Jonathan was in Kaduna, in Jigai campaigning. And I said, on the podium, publicly, I said, look, Mr. President, today in Nigeria, the two political parties running for also the presidency, none of them is having Nigeria at heart. It is being propelled by interest. You and Buhari are simply running for our own interest. Not through Nigeria, but you are asking Nigeria to follow you. If you're only opposing interest through Nigeria, but then the way you are doing, the way with this kind of division in the north and the south, then the Edwin class saying it's our own son, our own time, in the north saying, no, it's our own man, Islam. The division was so that whoever won, I said so, whoever won, Nigeria would lose. Whoever won that election, Nigeria would lose. It just happened now. APC won, Nigeria lost. If Jonathan has won, Nigeria also lose, because we have lost that thing which is binding to us, which is common to us. We are pursuing the divisions in terms for the purpose of keeping our own zones, our own tribes, our own secure for ourselves. And therefore, the division was very, very sharp. So, in 2022, and again, in 2019, I said, in 2019, I said, look, if you don't get PDP back to power in 2019, then we begin to think that this country may likely perish. I said so. Now, we're now going to 2023. APs are saying that they made a mistake, that they were ignorant, that they had no idea. The issue they thought about corruption, security, what is the other one? Economy. It's all minus, it's 0%. So it means the commitment was to the office. The commitment was to the glare of the office, the aura of the office, not the function of that office. And that's what we're doing. That, look at this issue of corruption. Look at the issue of foreign debt. Under Obasanjo, we're virtually on a clean slate. Under this government now, I don't know how much we're owing. I saw a figure from BBC, every Nigerian now owes the world about 200,000 naira, or that about. So the amount of money being borrowed, for what purpose? Why is the work? So what I'm saying is that, you see, in 2023, or 2022, whatever it is, for the election, we should be able to say, look, this is our country, both PDP and the APC. We must have something, a common answer that, this is the benchmark by which we are going to pursue our campaign. We must have benchmark. And then from there on, begin to see how do we restore that thing called trust, which is being eluding us, which has been destroyed. By the time it is restored, then I think that it's going to be PDP, because PDP has the capacity, is very, very organic, it's a Nigerian party, it's owned by Nigerians, unlike APC, which is owned by Tinubu and Buhari. And Tinubu, when he didn't get the presidency, he will not even bother about anybody. Buhari has finished on tenure. So you see, within the APC, the character there, the character of the APC don't have that kind of political cloud or image, or in other things, the Nigerian chemistry to be able to lead Nigeria. So it means it's going to be PDP. PDP, with the experience, with the kind of commitment to Nigeria, with the love of Nigeria, because in 1999, we know what he did. In 1999, there was no Nigeria. It was divided along, various, fissures, along various, cracks. But then, because the PDP leadership had wisdom, was reflecting, was seeing what is Nigeria yesterday and what will be Nigeria tomorrow, we're able to get Nigeria fully restored and fully reconciled and then face the economy. So this area, we need to look at the political party with the capacity and structure and the commitment to save Nigeria. If we go for this, normal campaign of, it's my own time or your own time, or for that, then we have lost that basic trust of unity. And therefore, we'll go to the nation balkanized or divided, pursuing regional interests or tribal interests or religious interests. And then by the time we form the government, whether APC or PDP, it's going to be worse than what we have today. Because it means the country will be sliding down up to a level whereby we will simply, evaporate.
I mean, so in all of the things that you have explained, you've not hit the nail on the head as to the chances of your party in 2023. Your party was giving a bloody nose in 2015 when an incumbent was defeated. That was a rare situation in our politics, where you have a situation where an incumbent party is beaten. I mean, that happened. In 2019, your party did not recover from that situation. Now, from all of what you have said now, the question is, what is the way out? What is the solution? Does the PDP have the answer? You're a leader in the party. Give us an insight into what your party is doing. Can Nigerians look to your party for an alternative? Because that is what your party says they can provide. You said you have the alternative platform. You said you know Nigeria better. Can Nigeria trust your party in 2023?
Sharon, in 2014, it is you and I, Nigeria, who got the bloody nose, not PDP. You are also blooded. Because you know what you are today, you have the power of the money in your own pocket. So Nigeria got a rough deal. It was Nigeria which was defeated, not PDP. Get this very, very clear. And therefore you are also affected. I'm afraid for everybody. Now we know where we are today. What I'm saying is this. In 2023, it's not an issue of, that, there's something called anger in PDP because we've been defeated. No, it's beyond that, because these things are luxury now. We're looking at a country which is going through a lot of crisis. First is lack of trust, mistrust within Nigerians. And then with the accompanying poverty and the insecurity and the insurgency and the lack of humanity and human empathy. These are the issues. And therefore, the only party with the capacity is PDP. Now, between 1999 to 2014 is page 1. I've been saying this, is Nigerian history of page 1. Between 2014 to 2022 or 23, it's going to be page 2. Page 1 was PDP. A united Nigeria, very fairly secure, with no foreign debt. Wow, there's so much empathy. There was so much human love. There was mutual respect across the various tribes. And therefore, insurgency, which we're trying to manage because it was manageable. 2014, 2023, see what we have. Page 2. Lack of human empathy, mistrust. We're being evilized. We become a country which is now which is being laughed. We lost our state as leader of the black race. A country where you can't even travel between Kaduna and Zad and Abuja, where we have another president. A country where his home state, Kaduna, is not safe. So you see, it's very, very clear. The APC came because they said they are ignorant. They're not doubt because they said so. Farouk said so, that, they took so much for granted. Even Pantami said, when he was crying, because they think he didn't know, that's why he was crying. But now he's there, now he knows, things are not like that. So you see, ignorance cannot be an excuse in leadership. Ignorance, if you don't know, please don't venture into it. And since they never know, they should please clear away and also bring up PDP, which is the kind of network, political capacity, the exposure, the experience, and the international standing to be able to save Nigeria and restore Nigeria back. And I'm sure we can do it. So the choice for Nigerian, page 1, PDP, page 2, APC, make your choice. If you want us to, they can do pain and the agony and the anguish and what have you, fine, then we could do APC. If you want to a better Nigeria, more united, more prosperous, where there's so much empathy, there's human love, human respect, then of course your natural party is PDP, because it's the Nigerian party which is a Nigerian ownership, unlike APC.
On a final note, Governor, give us your view, just in about 30 seconds, if you may, on the issue of the VAT. We've seen a few states go against the FRS. What's your view on, does it give you a clue as to fiscal federalism and how we should go? Or what's your view? If you can do that in 30 seconds, it will be fantastic.
I don't want to comment on that issue because it's a kind of, religious connotation. Some people are saying, VOT on beer, and other things which are forbidden in Islam are there. So if you begin to make, an honest and sincere answer to it, you'll be accused of, maybe of not citing a particular thing. So I would rather say I will let them do the debate, on VAT, anybody. But then to me, you see, the issue became so common because the issue of Sharia, people are talking about beer being destroyed, and beer is being part of the VAT. That's what they're saying. So let the younger, the younger generation who are governors now keep on talking and see whether they can find a way midway. But then, to be honest, if it's approached from this point of division in terms of what is legal or illegal, right or not right, there'll be some problem. We need some kind of consensus. What do we do? We are getting ourselves boxed into a corner. How do we get out of this corner?
Former Governor of Jigawa State and former Foreign Affairs Minister Sule Lamido, thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
For having me, and the good viewers, thank you very much for watching us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We take a break, everyone. And when we return, the internal issues in the Edo State People's Democratic Party gets our attention. We get both parties who are not agreeing at the moment to talk to us about the contentions in the Edo State PDP. Join us again, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Let's take you into the politics of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State. It was a rare political move to see the governor, Kaduna Basaki, dump his former party, APC, for the PDP, considering the issues he had with the former governor and his predecessor. After the risky foray, he won the governorship race. But since then, it appears the political administration of the PDP in Edo State has taken a rather tumultuous turn. Expectedly, the control of the party's structure became contentious. The party appears not to have recovered from the defections and complexities which emanated from the 2020 governorship election. It is now a reference point that the state has operated for about 4 years without a full complement of its lawmakers in the House of Assembly since 2019. And since the governor was sworn in for a second term, the state has also not had a full complement of its cabinet in the executive arm. There are now very strong indications of major internal squabbles for the control of the party. Well, the deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, recently was reported of wanting to exit the PDP. What exactly is going on? Let's find out. I have two gentlemen who are members of the PDP in Edo State. They are in our Abuja studio. Oshilama Okuofu and Akemokwe Lukman, both are members of the PDP from Edo State. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking to us. I know Lukman will be able to speak with us on what exactly is the grievance of those who think that the right things are not being done, and we'll probably hear Okofu Shilama telling us about what they think is right or wrong with the control of the structure of the party. Let me begin with Lukman. What is going on? Why would the deputy governor want to leave the PDP?
Yeah, thank you, Shil. A lot of things are going on in the party, in PDP, where I belong. Don't forget that we left APC after some crisis in the place for PDP. And we were appreciative of the fact that the leadership of the PDP, starting from the national level to the state level, offer the governor and his deputy the tickets. Now, what happened is immediately after the elections, we now came back to business on how do we go forward, because in the party, the PDP party constitution, the leadership of the state rests on the governor of the state. Now, one of the major issues is that the governor did not come to the party, to PDP as an orphan, as a political orphan. He came with the full state structure of APC, starting from the state chairman then, who was Honorable Barrister Sule Lamido. More than 90% of the state ESCO came with him. More than 90% of the local government, 18 local government ESCO came with him. More than 90% of the 192 ward ESCO came with him. All the serving council chairmen, their vice chairman, their secretary, and the 192 councillors, except few who went with Ushumole, came with him. Now, with this full structure, don't forget that this is the structure for the past 12 years that has been defeating PDP in the state. Now, when they came, because they felt what Ushumole was doing to Obaseki was wrong, because Obaseki was doing the right thing, when they came after the election, the governor now said, okay, how do we integrate? How do we harmonize the structure so that no one side has an edge over the other? When we begin to inquire about the structure of the PDP, because we came there in a haste, we found out that even the PDP we met has a divided house. There was a faction that is pro Toby Kimi and Ogiadume, and there was also a faction that is pro Dan Obi. And the two factions were struggling for attention, and the governor said, no, please, I don't want any faction. All of you people work for me, and we all won the election. So let everybody be part and parcel of it. So starting from the party structure, going through the appointments, then the local government election, we need to be fair to all the people involved. This was the governor's position. And the best way to go about this is the harmonization of the party structures in the state, starting from the states, the local government, and the ward executives. I can tell you for free that those factions that belong to Tommy Kimi faction agreed for harmonization. But there is a particular faction who are in control of the state ESCO, that never agreed. That is the Danobi faction that has the chairman, has a Gbemi. So this created the problem. And the governor said, please, we need this thing done so that the harmonized party structure will be the foundation where the appointment will be made. We have like up to 24 commissioners to be appointed. We have about 72 senior special assistants. We have about 15 special advisors. We have about 192 ward special assistants. And we have councillors to be elected next year. We have local government chairmen to be elected next year. So let us have a foundation so that we will not be pursuing the issue of, for the old PDP, Tommy Kimi faction versus Danobi faction, then the new PDP led by Sule Lamido. Okay. And don't forget that ambitions of the various groups, this is the issue. So the Danobi faction disagreed with the governor, and they said, no, we will not agree. It's our structure, we want to hold on to it. So it stayed. And the governor said, after making the appointment of the SSG, he said, until we resolve this issue, no other appointment. So he gave a timeline for February, thinking that these issues will be resolved, only for them to run to court and create a stalemate, and putting the governor in a very tight situation when the whole world is blaming him for no. Because if he has to do the appointment now, from the way they are doing it, it will be skewed towards one side. And he doesn't want that. After the February promise, he now
let me bring Oshilama into the conversation. Oshilama, give us a sense of what you... do you agree with the position of Lukman? Is that a true picture of what is happening?
Thanks for having me, Shil, and good evening, Nigerians. No, it's not. There was no faction in the PDP when they came in, and there still isn't any faction. I don't understand what it means by the Tommy Kimi, Ogiadume faction and the Danobi faction. The truth about it is we had a united house. gentlemen that he mentioned, Tommy Kimi and Ogadume, with all due respect to them, the only claim they have to relevance in the politics of PDP in Edo State is because they've been former this and former that. The structure was built over time, even when the party was in opposition, by Dan Obi. I was a delegate to the last convention that brought in Tony Azegbemi and his ESCO. The issue is not whether there's a faction or not. What actually has happened is that the process of harmonization was not properly managed. You see, leadership is influence. It's not so much about titles. Yes, the constitution of the party, as it claims, ascribes the leadership of the party to the governor in the state. But you see, the governor is just coming from another party that threw him out, himself and his deputy and his crew, out into the rain. And what we did was to offer them our umbrella and our structure. And then the situation where we expect certain things to have been done based on promises that were made and expectations that we had that are not being met. That is what's causing this. It is the prerogative of the governor to make his appointment. He doesn't owe anybody any explanation. So this talk of there's a court case, that's why he's not making his appointment. I mean, I don't see how that has any bearing to his appointing his commissioners, whom he can hire and fire, his special advisors, whom he can hire and fire, and others down the line. This whole thing was not properly handled. And don't forget again, there's precedence. Why is Edo State not following the path or the route that Sokoto State did, what Governor Tambuwa did? Why is the governor of Edo State not doing what Governor Otom did in Benue State? And these governors were in PDP with the PDP DNA, left for APC and came back. And when they were coming back, they had to make certain concessions, even with the fact that they were part of the PDP structure within their state and in the country. It's a function of you having to understand that we had our party, even when we were in opposition for 11 years plus. Now, if this party wasn't strong enough, let me tell you the truth, the governor wouldn't have bothered to come to the PDP.
Okay, so
why didn't he go to
hang on. Just a moment.
He could have gone to some other party.
All right. I wanted us to clarify this for the viewers to understand straight off. So I'd like to ask some straight questions from both of you and quick answers too, please. The first question I'd like to shoot, that I'd like to ask you, first and foremost, Oshilama, does the governor want the structure of the party and your group or the established group that he met on the ground are not willing to relinquish? Is that the situation of things?
See, when you come with the approach of harmonization via dissolution, that's not going to work. What you're telling me is, I brought you into my house, right? And you now want to take complete control and you want to throw me out. If that's why I said the process was not properly managed. Now, I'm giving free advice, okay? If what will work is harmonization through integration. Okay, I have 6 commissioner appointments for you and X amount of senior special advisors for you. I'm going to give you those positions, and then I will take out certain members of your state ESCO, your local government ESCO, and replace them with my people. All right,
so Oshilama, so that's the question I'm also asking. Yeah. So what exactly, just in a sentence, what did the governor do wrong?
That's what I just said. I said the process was not properly managed. The governor is not talking with the leader of the party in the state, and that is Danobi. I've said it, and even Lukman here can attest. I've even written it out on different platforms we all belong to. I've made this suggestion. These 2 gentlemen are the solution of this whole imbroglio. Simple. Two of them should sit themselves in one room, talk to themselves, and they come out and a resolution will be reached.
All right,
Whatever decision they take will be binding on us.
Yeah, let me bring Lukman in. So I asked those questions from Oshilama just so that you can be able to respond, because it doesn't really agree with your position or the way you are seeing the problem. So he does believe, or from his own point of view, that the governor is not willing to shift grounds because he cannot come into the party, according to him, and not shift ground and want to dissolve without having to absolve. How do you react to the statement that he has made?
No, let's understand that it is a matter of legality. Don't forget that the people in question were duly elected, and the constitution of PDP clearly states how someone who was elected into a party position can be exited. One of the ways they do it is dissolution by the National Executive Committee. So what the governor said is, let us sit down and agree. How do we share? I'm bringing my people 50%. You are bringing your people 50%. Let's agree on the list.
Look,
when
man,
we agree on the list,
look, man,
we go straight to the national body and ask for dissolution.
Look, man, what
you can't just do it at the. You can't just take somebody out.
What
without an election, bringing me another person in.
What Oshilama just said to you now is that the governor has not had a sit down with Dan Obi, who, according to him, is the party leader in the state prior to the emergence of the governor into the party. Has the governor done that? Because that is his own fault for what the governor has done.
No, the governor, we don't want to go into another era of godfatherism again. The governor wants to deal with the people. He wants to deal with everybody. I have told him just now, if he is saying that there are no factions, what was Edo North Elders Council doing in my place, led by the former chief of staff to the president, Ugiadume? Did Danobi agree with that council? So the governor will have to now leave that group and now go to Dan Obi and be dealing with him and whatever. Look at those godfatheristic statements. Two of them should just go into a room and agree. No, we don't do that. The politics we want in Edo State is everybody across the strata of leadership should be carried along. Not issue of two people deciding and handing it over to everybody in the party. We don't want that again. That is why the governor has clearly decided not to sit with any leader, whether Tommy Kimi as a person or Danobi as a person, but let the full people agree that this is what we want to do. So when they agree what we want to do and agree on a unified structure, then we go to the national body and say, please dissolve this structure for legality's sake and replace it with this one.
Oshilama,
the idea of somebody single-handedly nominating people.
Yeah, because it's raised a very... Yeah, he said, look, this is somewhat kind of godfatherism playing out. Do you agree?
How is this godfatherism? There's a log jam. And we are saying, how do we move forward? And he's talking about, how is that godfatherism? I just told you, Sheung, and I'm trying to be careful with my choice of words here. The process was not properly handled. Now, he's saying there's a process of dissolving the ESCOs. Now, what he's suggesting, was that what was done in Sokoto and Benue states? Is there any crisis as a fallout of what those governors did? No. It's just a question of you didn't get it right from the get-go. Okay, fine. Why don't you now come back and do things the way they should be done? There was never any faction in Edo State. And when people now start sounding as if PDP wasn't on ground in Edo State, don't forget that we have 2 senators and 4 members of the House of Rep. And we've always won the presidential elections in Edo State. That for a while we've not produced the governor until now. It's not reason enough to say we're not on ground.
Okay, so let me another quick question I need to ask you, Oshilama. Who is the leader of the PDP in Edo State as we speak?
Well, there is like I said, I mean, what is leadership? Leadership is influence.
No, but I'm talking about political
governor-
leadership.
the
No, Silama, you know, because of our time, I wanted to ask you a straight question.
Yes.
I'll ask Lukman the same question. Who is the leader of the PDP in Edo State as we speak?
Sheung, I'm not going to be boxed into a corner. Leadership is influence. The governor constitutionally came and he has been ascribed the leader of the party in the state. But this
All right, so just a moment, just hold it. Just hold it.
You nurture. You build
Okay,
over
hold
time.
it to Shilama. Hold it to Shilama. Look, man, I'd like to ask you this question. Who were the major, who spearheaded the conversation between the governor when he was coming to the PDP prior to his coming? Who was the person, the leader in the PDP that spearheaded the meeting or the coming of Governor Baseki to the PDP in Edo State?
I would name them. There are about 3 of them. The senator representing Edo South, the senator representing Edo Central, Dan Obi was one of them. Then former Senator Uzamiri was one of them, who brought some level of influence from Atiku. And these people were in fact, the Dan Obi camp never even wanted him in. Let me give you an explanation of something that happened. They were the people that went to court in Port Harcourt to stop the governor.
Oh, Silama,
when
do you
the
agree?
governor wanted to register,
yeah.
yes,
Silama,
traditionally,
no,
the governor is from Ward 4.
No, I do
the
not.
The governor is from Ward 4
asked
in
me a
Oredo
question.
local
You
government.
asked me a question.
Let me
just
ask whether this thing is correct. The governor is from Ward 4, Oredo local government. Ask, when the governor wanted to pick his membership card, the chairman of the ward where the governor is the same thing as Ogbede Yama. It's the same name. A brother to the House of Rep who took the governor to court. Now, what happened? They denied the governor a party membership ticket, membership. The governor has to go to Ward 3. Go and ask now, from where is the governor, where did he become
let me allow,
the
because
member of the party?
we're out of time.
Osilama,
Osilama, is that true?
Yes, please.
Osilama, is that true?
Listen, the issue here is people are coming from, across the road and are trying to tell us things the way they. I was the chairman of the Logistics and Accreditation Committee of the Congress, the gubernatorial Congress that gave this governor the tickets. So we know what we're talking about. You see, if there was a court case, yes, trying to stop him from coming to take, because people
led by Danobi,
people were already on ground. They had worked, committed their resources and manpower to getting the gubernatorial ticket. We had very solid aspirants, one of whom was Ogbede Yama. So the people that Governor Baseki negotiated is coming into the PDP. Danobi was not part of it. He negotiated with the so-called Abuja politicians who do not have any structure to give to him. Yeah. The governor has come now and has found out that these people were just empty suits. They have nothing to offer him. And that is where the challenge is. And that's why I've said this. He should talk with Dan Obi and this whole issue will be solved. It's not about godfatherism.
Gentlemen, we are totally out of time. But I'll give you 10 seconds, Lukman. 10 seconds. Your final word.
My final word is that the governor is the leader of the party, and the party leadership at the national level should give the governor the way to take over the leadership and the structure of the party. That's
Osilama,
in every state.
Osilama, your 10 seconds.
In Nigeria.
Osilama, your 10 seconds.
This is about showing gratitude. This is about showing gratitude to people who were there for you, who worked for your re-election, who made sacrifices. It's all about gratitude. All right, simple.
Gentlemen, Osilama Okuofo here and Akemokwe Lukman, both of them are member of the PDP. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming in tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Kimalo enjoy the rest of your evening.